In 1932, in the dry farming lands of Western Australia, a strange battle began. The country was struggling through the Great Depression. Farmers were already having a hard time growing enough wheat to survive. Then suddenly, they had a new enemy, emus. Every year, thousands of emus migrated across the countryside, but this year was worse than usual. Around 20,000 emus moved into the wheat fields, trampling crops, breaking fences, and eating almost everything in sight. The farmers were desperate. They had spent months growing their crops, and now huge flocks of giant birds were destroying them in days. So the farmers asked the Australian government for help. And unbelievably, the government said yes. The military sent soldiers armed with machine guns to fight the birds. The operation began in November 1932. The soldiers arrived with 2 Lewis machine guns and thousands of bullets. They expected the mission to be easy. After all, how hard could it be to stop a bunch of birds? Very hard, it turned out. The emus were fast. They could run up to 50 kilometers per hour. Whenever the soldiers tried to get close, the birds scattered in every direction. One officer later joked that the emus seemed to have leaders. A few birds would stand watch while the others fed. If they spotted danger, they gave a warning, and the whole flock escaped before the soldiers could fire. The first attack was a disaster. The soldiers spotted a large group of emus and opened fire, but the machine gun jammed after only a few shots. Most of the birds escaped. Later, the soldiers tried again. This time they hid near a dam, waiting for the emus to come for water. When the birds arrived, the soldiers fired hundreds of bullets. But once again, the emus scattered. Only a few were hit. The soldiers became frustrated. They even mounted one of the machine guns on a truck, hoping to chase the birds across the fields. That failed too. The truck bounced wildly over the rough ground, making it impossible to aim. The emus easily outran it. Day after day, the same thing happened. The soldiers fired thousands of bullets but killed far fewer birds than expected. Meanwhile, newspapers across Australia began reporting on the strange war. People laughed at the idea of trained soldiers losing to giant birds. The story spread quickly. Soon, the entire country was joking that the emus were winning. After several weeks, the government finally ended the operation. The soldiers had used nearly 10,000 bullets and killed only a fraction of the birds. The emus were still out there, still running across the fields. One newspaper jokingly declared that if the emus had their own military division, no army in the world could defeat them. In the end, the farmers had to solve the problem another way. Instead of using soldiers, they built stronger fences and created barriers to keep the birds away from the crops. Today, the event is remembered as the Great Emu War. It sounds like something made up for a comedy movie, but it really happened. And somehow, against soldiers with machine guns, the emus won.